What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to
200K. And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
On $6 billion future city in Africa that looks like the hybrid of Dubai and the fictional city of Wakanda. Akon City is where innovation meets luxury, with 5 distinct districts designed to redefine urban living. See the African Village District, where modern waterfront homes beckon, and a sprawling, all-inclusive resort awaits your indulgence. Experience exhilaration in the Entertainment District, boasting a cutting-edge multi-purpose stadium and a colossal casino for endless excitement. Witness the future unfolding in the Tech District, poised to become the Silicon Valley of Africa, where groundbreaking technologies shape tomorrow's world. And of course, the essential health and safety district, because public services such as police stations, fire departments, and a general hospital are key to residents' quality of life. The education district will provide comprehensive learning opportunities for both children and adults, ensuring growth and development for all. And lastly, the glamorous Senegal district, which features 4 state-of-the-art filming studios, offices, and residential spaces, all culminating with the iconic Akon Tower piercing the skyline to glorify the genius who created this futuristic urban oasis. For the past 4 years, Akon and his team have been preparing this city to be ready for you to experience by 2024. And just 4 years later, this is what Akon City looks like today. Lies, corruption, collusion, a shady cryptocurrency, stealing native land. These are just a few of the villainous acts Akon has been accused of during this disastrous project. At first, many of his supporters saw him as a noble man making valiant efforts to create a real-life utopia, but now they question why the guy who believes that all men are divine kings to be worshipped by women wants to create and lead his own city. But before we get into the fall of Akon City, it is important to understand the actual amazing achievements Akon has made for over a dozen African nations. After Akon made millions of dollars in the music industry, he wanted to extend resources to Senegal, which is where he is from. Growing up, Akon knew the struggles of living in the dark once the sun went down. The town in Senegal that he grew up in, like many others, had no access to running water or power. Local economies were forced to shut down businesses when the sun set, and families were constrained to candlelight and kerosene lamps to complete their nightly tasks, resulting in over 3 million deaths each year from harmful fumes and fires. In 2014, Akon Lighting Africa was launched. In the first year of Akon's Lighting Africa project, he brought solar energy to 14 different African nations. And although his intentions were noble, he had to implement borderline unethical strategies to convince nations to invest in solar. One problem with Africans, he said, is that they often lack unity and are hesitant to think about the future. So he strategically approached nations who had upcoming elections, then installed solar systems for free in the village of the leader's choice, such as installing streetlights and solar panels for homes and businesses. Then it made those leaders look like they were invested in progressing their nation, which led to them receiving more votes from citizens. It came to the point that once that village was lit up, now the neighboring villages would bring pressure to the government and ask those same questions. How come we ain't lit up? Although many are critical of this tactic, at the end of the day, the communities are the ones who benefit the most. The solar electricity has allowed the vendors to operate for longer hours into the night and for children to study after dark. Also, just the simple installation of streetlights led to decreased crime rates due to the visibility the solar-powered street lighting provides. By 2020, Akon Lighting Africa has installed 100,000 solar-powered street lamps, 1,200 solar microgrids, and has created more than 5,000 jobs. But many people question how Akon was able to finance a project of this size.
I like to say that when a person has a plan and a project that they're working on, sometimes the due date ain't gonna get met.
Right.
Especially when it's big, like we're talking here. You know what I'm saying? But then you look at their resume. You look at everything they have already accomplished, and then you can judge their heart off of what they've already done. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of difficult to say that or put him in the light that he's scamming or frauding somebody when he has a history of doing great things leading up to where he is today. And even though I don't 100% know the backstory, and we're going off of what he's saying, because I haven't been keeping up with it, just to be bluntly honest. I'm going off of resume, and I'm going off of receipts. I'm going off of the positive things that he has done, and I feel like if an individual, again, is going to do something great I feel like there's a leading up to the next great thing they have in mind as well. So
Yeah, I don't know. Akon is one of those people. He say a lot of things in the media, and it's like, why would he say that? You know. So I don't know. He says a lot of things, but I do feel that he had some. I want to say good intentions if he wanted to give back to his country.
Yeah.
You know, but of course, it's strategically going. Connecting with the politicians during election time, but I don't know. I don't know everything, you know. So let's see what happens.
Not just that. I mean, like you said, connecting with the politicians. It's like, okay, if I have the money, and I'm ready to invest, but the investment isn't going to be looked upon for me. It's going to be looked upon for the people, the governors or whatever that how it works. And they have to say so on where they want things to be put.
Right.
It's just it's different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is a little questionable because if I'm sitting in the chair and I say I got the money, I want to do this for the people, and I want things to go to locations. I'm expected to be seen for that job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because why you wanted that village to get lit up? Is that village the people who really come out to vote? Is that the voting power?
Why did they want that village to get lit up? He just had the revenue for it.
Right.
They chose where they wanted it to go. But
we
don't know.
We
just saying. But at the end of the day, off of resume and facts, you know what I'm saying? We gotta let the man say what he gotta say. Hold
Sure,
on.
his music was successful, but we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in infrastructure costs. Well, he was able to land a line of...
Let's talk about that. Oh, he got a credit line.
A $1 billion credit line from China? So China is the power structure. Because I feel like whoever has the money, of course they get interest back, but at the same time they're the power structure of the whole shebang. You know what I'm saying?
That's a loan. That's a loan.
You know what that means.
But I mean, he's talking about building a whole city.
Yeah.
And if the plans that we just seen, the infrastructure plans, if that was
how it's supposed to look,
baby, that's gonna take a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of curves.
Yeah, gonna have to have a whole lot of people come in.
Exactly. And who out there said they knew about a job that was ready to get worked on and they ready to go do it
at the same time? The whole city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't building a neighborhood, it's a city.
It's a city.
Credit for up to $1 billion worth of solar equipment with the finance arm of China Jiangsu International Group, which is a Chinese government-owned construction firm. Most of these African nations could not afford the upfront money for installing solar infrastructure, but Akon's line of credit allowed the governments to pay in installments.
But when Bush was in power, Bush created a 200% tax on all solar or all solar-related and renewable energy coming into America. So all that investment, those billions of dollars of investment that China put into this was just sitting in factories and sitting in China, couldn't be used. So I took advantage of that and went down to China and to partner with some of those companies that couldn't use all that, investment that they already put for Europe and America.
Because of Akon's efforts, an estimated 28.8 million people can now enjoy the same benefits of electricity that much of the world has enjoyed for decades.
You've always said that China has done more for Africa than any other country.
I mean, it's true. That's not something anybody can argue with.
Yeah.
I mean, they came, they laid down infrastructure. They actually did something that the European countries been around for 400 years and did nothing. That's why if you see Africa now hasn't been developed. This was the responsibility of France, Great Britain, Italy, Germany. These guys have been in Africa forever and it's never been developed. China just started putting interest in Africa. Now you have roads, roundabouts, like they're actually putting structure down.
Now, China has been investing in Africa since the early 2000s, but their interest has dramatically increased in the past 10 years, having loaned $170 billion to 49 different nations. And while the Chinese government investing in Africa is a major step forward into the advancement of those nations, some people think that they have a secret evil motive behind their interest. Now, obviously, these Chinese investments need to be paid back. The problem is that Africa's total debt from 2000 to 2022 is around $1.8 trillion, which is 300% higher than Africa's GDP growth rate in the same amount of time. Basically, they're in a lot of debt and don't have a stable way to pay back the money. But that might be exactly what the Chinese government wants. Debt trap diplomacy, or the Chinese debt trap, is essentially their strategy of building expensive infrastructure and assets that these African nations cannot afford, secretly hoping that they will stop making payments and then China will take control of their land or assets that they just built. Now, why would China China want to control a bunch of land,
'Cause the motherland is
resources,
the
and assets
motherland.
in the middle of Africa? Your guess is as good as mine. But these theories were spawned after an investigation into these loan documents.
In one report which analysed 100 Chinese contracts, it revealed that the loans are structured to give an advantage over other creditors and allows action to be taken if the borrower acts contrary to the interests of a People's Republic of China entity. There are also unusual clauses that shroud agreements in secrecy.
So what exactly would constitute as acting contrary to the interest of a Chinese entity?
I feel like we all up in y'all business with
Right.
this one. I'm
Right,
talking
I
about.
thought it was gonna be about Akon.
Yeah. I mean, you have people, you have men, power structures. You know what I'm saying? They're sitting at tables and they're having these conversations. It wouldn't. We know how history are. Look, you know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't slip their mind to have a second thought about any wrong that can possibly happen when it comes to this type of stuff. And they want to see development. They want to see things grow and get better.
Right. I don't know. When it comes to all of the colonial powers that has been in Africa, you know, that's like a.
I feel like
I don't really want to comment on that. Honestly, I feel like that's not my business.
I feel like it's a trick into us talking about politics.
Y'all,
See what y'all did?
Mm-hmm.
We don't even never talk about that.
That ain't
That's
our
why,
business.
and that's why I say I feel like we all up in the business today.
Right.
Like this. Oh, okay.
Well, that's really vague, likely on purpose. Who knows what would legally count as acting contrary? And as far as these unusual confidential clauses, well, that alone is enough for some people to believe that China is trying to be vague and non-transparent on purpose. But others believe that this is just extremely standard contract practices that the World Bank and any other small bank in existence provides, and that the Chinese debt trap as a whole is just more Western propaganda to, 1, demonize Africa more, and 2, make Americans hate the Chinese government. Think about it this way. When you're buying a house, does the government, the media, or the banks call it a debt trap? No, they call it a smart and often necessary investment into your future. But if you can't make your payments on your house, they take it away, and now they own it. So wouldn't that make buying a house an American debt trap? It just comes down to whether you think China is doing extremely standard.
Bro, it's like
Then
owning
property
land.
tax.
It's like property tax. You think you just bought you some land, but if you don't pay on your land, they get to take whatever's on your land.
But do you think that is going to happen?
They put a lien on your house.
I don't know.
Well, let me put it this way. Let's stick to the house and not the land. You know what I'm saying? You bought your house, you own it now, but you still got to pay on it.
Right. Right.
I thought I bought it out.
And Americans, us as Americans, we okay with paying property tax.
I paid my phone off, but I still got to pay on my phone.
Right.
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 I'm getting a brain.
Right,
My head hurt.
I don't know.
My chest.
How y'all feel about it? I mean,
Right.
we have seen some of the things that China has helped with. I don't know. I don't know what Africans think about this.
I mean, and that's
why I say this a little between y'all business.
Yeah, and I
You
mean,
know?
this is our honest, opinion when we say we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to just be open and honest and be positive as well, because sometimes things can sound bad when it's being written out, and some people know more what others don't. So just
My thing is, it's not our business. So it's like something going on in the United States. A lot of things be going on in the United States, and somebody commenting on it, and they're not well versed in what's going on.
exactly.
Like, how you gonna comment on something that you're not
Exactly.
here
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say how we feel? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Business, or do they want these nations to fall short on payments to take over their assets and gain power in Africa? Regardless, Akon's relationship with these Chinese financiers and previous success with lighting Africa allowed him to pitch his newest venture, Akon.
Oh,
Okay,
Lord.
so I feel like, before we get to his newest venture, I feel like this is 2024. I don't believe that Africans are going to allow anybody to come back in and colonize them. I don't see that happening.
That goes back to my comment that I made earlier. When they're at this table, these power structures, and having these conversations, they don't. It's like having an understanding of history and what they're trying to move away from and move forward to. So they're not sitting at this table just throwing everything and signing off on everything. And again, it just sounds like I'm in the business, but let's be real.
Yeah.
I think the the men and the women in Africa have a real understanding when it comes to making moves correctly.
Right. And I do know that there are some corrupt politicians.
Yeah,
but
you gotta say that.
I'm speaking for the general population, the people who are not in the government. I'm speaking for the general people. I don't think that the people are going to stand for that.
I don't think nobody would, be honest with you.
City. He claims that he was able to get his $1 billion credit line raised to $5 billion with these Chinese investment groups. Following the announcement of the city, Akon went on a publicity tour promoting the new project.
The president of Senegal gave you 3 square miles of land.
Well, this is the thing. I had to actually buy the land, so it wasn't gifted to me. But what the president and the government are doing, they're actually laying the foundation for all the infrastructure on the land. The basic sewage, electricity, things like that. All the things that have to be set forth for me to build the city on top of.
Okay.
And they give me 100% full, support.
The city will be built on a 3 square mile plot just 60 miles from Dakar, the capital and largest city in Senegal. Now, 3 square miles is not a ton of land. That's 2,000 acres, or a little more than double the size of Central Park in New York City. However, Akon says this version of the city is just phase 1 of a multi-
Where did he get this idea, though? Like, the way everything is set up, like, it's very futuristic. But it's mad different too, though. At the same time,
it looks to me, just looking. I don't know if this is the real images,
exactly,
but it looks like a tourism hub.
Right.
It looked like a resort. That is what it's giving.
Okay.
His plan. He also announced during this time that Akoncity would operate fully on their own cryptocurrency called akoin. Akoin is a stellar-based cryptocurrency designed to fuel rising entrepreneurs in Africa and beyond. Akoin will be used as a common medium of transfer between Africa's 54 countries, each with its own volatile currency, allowing African citizens and entrepreneurs to engage with the digital economy with only a mobile phone.
People don't always have access to, bank accounts and so on, but everybody has a phone.
Everybody has a phone.
So with the phone, you can make payments.
Absolutely.
And that's how it all kind of fits in.
That's what makes all the sense in the world.
Okay.
Akoin is not a groundbreaking technology. Many Africans have adopted crypto for everyday use as it is generally more stable and flexible than their country's native currency. But even before crypto was adopted, over 50 million Africans use M-Pesa, or mobile minutes, which is kind of like the Cash App or Venmo of Africa. Millions of Africans can transfer money to family members in different countries or pay for goods and services with ease using M-Pesa. It would be significantly easier for Akon City residents if the country was built around a more commonly used cryptocurrency or just sticking with M-Pesa. So why Akoin?
How much Akoin do you actually own?
I am the bank.
Akon said it himself. He is the bank. Not only is he building a city named after him, but also creating the currency that he controls and owns the most of. Before launching his Akoin cryptocurrency, the Akoin website announced a pre-sale opportunity called the Token of Appreciation, or TOA campaign. This pre-sale was treated like a donation, and donors were promised 4 tokens for every $1 spent. Akoin was launched on most major crypto exchanges in early 2021 and peaked at around 58 cents, which at the time was around a 132% gain for the TOA holders if they sold. However, the majority believed in Akoin, so they held. Within a few months, the price began spiraling down to roughly 10 cents per coin, taking TOA holders from a 132% gain to a 60% loss. Due to the shocking dip, Akoin admins offered a refund to their initial donors. One donor named Marcus said, "The refund was meant to come a few weeks later. We are now over a year, and we're back at the same situation we were years ago with the lack of communication, and now everybody's up in arms." But Marcus isn't alone. The owner of the Go Black to Africa YouTube channel showed proof of him emailing Akoin admins only to be ignored for years. The YouTuber wrote to Andrew of the Akoin Foundation requesting a refund on December 19th, 2021. Andrew replied 22 days later and said that the YouTuber was added to the list for refund requests and we will be reaching out shortly regarding further details on how to proceed. The YouTuber provided his physical mailing address, which Andrew claimed was the next step towards a refund, only for him to be ignored for 4 months with no refund, and now it has been 3 years and still no refund.
3 years.
Yeah, bro, you can hang it up. It'll be amazing to get your money back, of course. But to me, it sounds like, and tell me if you agree with this. It sounds like putting money down on a house. Let's use apartments, for instance. It's like putting money down on an apartment, and you don't want it no more, so you ask for your refund back. And you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, we can't.
And they say no.
No, we can't do it. But they're not telling them no. They'd be like, after 3 years, we got you.
But let's bring it back. He have a line of credit for $5 billion.
Say that, though.
That's where the money going. Y'all ain't getting your money back. You gotta pay back China.
The interest hitting.
When Akon was asked about these refunds, he said he had no idea there was any problems.
Now that I was aware, because I know all the people that I know that was on record. We definitely met with everybody, and this was the agreement that was actually agreed on. So if there was anyone outside of that, I definitely wasn't aware.
And those people who asked for their money back and were expecting it a year ago, when will they receive that money?
Well, that I'm just literally on everything finding out. So I'm gonna definitely get more involved in figuring out what that's about. But we do have instruments in place to make sure those people are happy, even if I gotta go in my own pocket.
But as far as we know, Akon has not come out of pocket to pay these people back. The coin eventually fell to $0.0029, which is essentially a 100% loss. At the moment, Akoin is not listed on any cryptocurrency exchange, so nobody can buy it, sell it, or use it anywhere. It is worth nothing.
Akon had appeared that he was doing a good job, but it seems though that he is just like most who would want to use Africa only for his own benefit.
As if it couldn't get any worse, Akon City today is an utter ghost town. Last year, this picture went viral of one singular Minecraft concrete brick laid in the center of Akon City, showcasing an extreme lack of progress being made considering the fact that Akon said the city would be done by 2024. However, there is a little more than just this one stone. Today in 2024, you can see the first completed building, an extremely standard and non-futuristic building that they say is a recreational center. There's also another small, barely constructed building with a spiral staircase, which to be fair does look like a small version of what the original vision depicted. However, 99% of the land remains vacant with wild cattle grazing. Yes, technically construction has begun, but as you can see, this is a far cry from the futuristic megacity we were promised. Akon blamed the pandemic, saying everything would be pushed back by 2 years, which doesn't really make sense considering he announced Akon City to the international media when the pandemic was at its worst moments. The unfortunate part about the land that's just sitting unused is that the land belonged to several hundred people who are still owed compensation from the Senegalese government. The first phase of Akon City was supposed to be built on 55 hectares of land secured by SAPCO in 2009, eventually expanding onto a further 500 hectares by the end of the decade. Macky Sall, the president of Senegal, said, "My problem concerning the land is not with Akon. My problem is concerning SAPCO, because it is them who took the land from the villagers." Originally, the Senegalese government's tourist board, SAPCO, was backing the project, saying, "We believe in Akon City and we are all supporting Akon so that Akon City will come to life. It will attract tourists and investors in the region, and SAPCO is fully committed to the success of this project." But most recently, they have sent Akon a formal notice that if the project has not advanced by next year, its contract with him will be terminated. And since Akon has massively overpromised and massively underdelivered, people are starting to question his intentions in the first place. "I plan to retire in that city," he says confidently. "I don't like to use the word king of the city, but that's what it will turn out to be." Words like this have made some people believe that Akon City is just an empire to inflate his ego at best and a corrupt billion-dollar scam at worst. Additionally, Akon's views of the Western world's morals and gender roles has made people disagree with him as a leader.
But what happens in today's society, the woman chooses which role she want to play. In the last 10, 15 years, I haven't met a woman that can actually cook. I haven't met a woman that actually wants to clean the house.
Not Akon.
I've met the baddest bitches on the globe and asked to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom looked like shit.
Whoa.
Who he's talking
Who
to?
you talking to? You in the same neck of the woods of these type of women? They
attract what
birds
you
of a feather
are.
flock together. I'm just saying, if that's where you keep looking, you keep getting the same results. My brother, you gotta switch up your routine. I'm just saying.
You want a high value woman, you gotta be a high value man and go where they are.
Hair all over the place, all kind of products. Like, come on, man.
Products, what's wrong with
That's a
that?
natural instinct.
The eyelashes still out.
That's a natural instinct. I'm with you.
Maybe this could just be a joke, but Akon does follow a very non-Western style of raising his 9 children with 7 different women.
You can go
single time you're at every single recital.
No, that's a white man's thing. Who gives a fuck about a recital? The reason why people like me can't spend every single day and minute with their children is because the mother's job is to be there with the children. I'm the man. My job is to provide comfort so the mother can provide and raise those children to be like me. Now, if it's a man, when a child gets to a certain age, minute with their children is because the mother's job is to be there with the children.
Hold on.
Who gives a fuck about a recital? The reason why people like me can't spend every single day and minute with their children is because the mother's job is to be there with the children. I'm the man. My job is to provide comfort so the mother can provide and raise those children to be like me.
Wait a minute.
That part treats me. I don't agree with that. How can you be absent and expect for a woman to raise your children in the image of a father who's not around?
Right.
I don't see how that's even possible.
If the woman is there providing for the children and raising the children, what kind of comfort you coming to give?
I mean, one of my biggest roles when it came to manhood was to take the stress off my woman's back, because I was working these jobs so much, so many hours, and I didn't have time to spend with my children. I didn't have time to spend with my wife, and I was sick of that. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be near my family more so they can be raised by their father. That's just
and
different.
Mother together.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Together. Okay. Listen, I'm just listening to things like this just make me so much more appreciative. I'm already appreciative. I love my man. Okay. Very in love with my man.
Let's go.
But listening to foolishness like this, because what?
100%.
That logic, OMG.
Yeah.
The woman got to provide and raise for the children. He's there for comfort. No, you're there for a booty call, because that's what it sounds like.
It's just the fact that he said that a woman has to raise the children up to be like him.
Why
While he's
would
out there working 24/7. It's like, I just don't see how that is like a thing. Like,
you have made the woman's life harder. And you think she wants to raise the children to be like you? You out your mind.
Oh, man. It's the talk. That's the talk.
As a man, when a child gets to a certain age, that's my responsibility now to show them what a man's role and responsibility is. But you can't expect a man to conquer the world if he's home with children. In life, there's roles.
Yeah, no.
A man has his role.
Yes.
And a woman has her role.
Yes.
But the day the woman believes that the man is supposed to share her role with her, then that means she's lacking. So I don't go pull my wife out to the construction site to go pull nails in 2x4s, because that's not her place.
I seen one more hard heads, my boy.
Now this.
Hey, that sound like that 50-50 talk.
50-50.
That sound like that 50-50 talk.
That's what that sound like.
It's like, I don't care how dirty the house gets. As a man, I'm not cleaning it up because it's your job. I'm not washing the dishes because it's your job. Oh, they got a little trash, I'm gonna take it out. After that, I'm done. But whatever else that's require you to be doing something, I'm expecting you to do it. Regardless, I don't care what it is. That's that 50-50 logic.
As a happy wife.
Oh, say that though.
Emphasis.
For the people in the back.
As a happy wife in a very successful marriage, I don't mean to brag, but this is foolishness. Baby, me and my husband do 100-100. Okay? We have taken steps to create the life we want to live.
Yeah, 100%.
Being that we have investments, my husband say, the men can't come in today, it's raining, but I really need to get this job done. I don't know what I'm going to do. Baby, get the keys. I got the hard hat. What we need to do?
Matter of fact, that's a child's opportunity to see the daddy do something so they can have an image in their head. Why imagery is important? Because it unlocks memories. You know what I'm saying? It keeps the mental going, where they can understand that I can do what I see, not doing what I told someone else did, and I never had a chance to experience it.
Crazy. Our children, I always say our children say, I want to be like my dad when I grow up. Why you want to be like your dad? And I want to have a wife like you, Mom. Y'all just so happy. And y'all do everything for us. But this man talking about when they get to a certain age, then they my responsibility. Are you crazy? Did you knock your head on something?
Hold on, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going.
Be chalked up to just a traditional style of raising a family, but sometimes he justifies his beliefs with extreme levels of bro science.
So, as a woman, her role is to support the man. The man, we are the kings and the divine of this universe. A woman can never compare to the man. They have to understand that here in America. The woman don't create life. They support the creation of life. A man right now can create life without a woman, but a woman can't create life without a man.
Well, lately.
If I wanted to create life right now without a woman,
I would just shoot my sperm, put it in the incubator, and just give it 9 months, even maybe less with today's science, and a baby will be born. A woman can't do that.
Hopefully in Akon City, he is not in charge of the education curriculum because his science is considerably off here. Akon is likely referring to vitro
He
gamma.
said hopefully in Akon City he ain't in charge of the curriculums. Because Lord,
hopefully no women is looking to move there.
But you want a woman. But you want a woman. But the biggest responsibility that she has to offer to life is life. And now you're saying she's not. That's not something that's necessarily needed. We could do without you now because science says so. I'm gonna just sip my water to that. Okay. And we're gonna keep going.
Genesis, which is essentially creating an egg and a sperm outside of the human body to create a life. And the answer is no, we cannot do this right now. We can fertilize a female egg and a male sperm in a lab environment, but in order to give birth, the fertilized embryo must be transferred back to the woman's uterus. At the absolute worst, Akon could be a scammer with a god complex, who is willing to take Chinese money to build infrastructure that African nations cannot afford, only to line his own pockets while these nations crumble and get taken over by the Chinese government. Or at best, he is truly trying to build a futuristic utopia for Africans, and unfortunately the massive political and economic responsibilities were far more than he could handle. And as of right now, Akon City won't exist for a very long time. But to be honest, it probably never will.
Alright, we're gonna stop right there. Make sure y'all check his channel out. So man, this went down just like akoin did. Because beginning of this conversation, I was with it. I was like, I don't know the whole facts of what's going on behind everything, because I'm like, yo, you look at a man's resume, you can see his intentions in the future. They may have good intentions. They did it once, they did it twice, they could do it 5th time. You know what I'm saying? But then at the end of this video, after you hear it from out the heart's mouth, it's like it sounds like he has different priorities.
He said it. He said it. He want to be the king.
Yeah, he has. It sounds like he's saying he has different priorities. If that's the best way to put it. And it sounds like he's going to have people to be on board with this logic for it to actually have a real thriving society.
I mean, it sounds like he's trying to suppress women with the last thoughts that he was saying. Because what? What is wrong with you?
Well.
Why?
Well.
I don't know.
I got something else I could say, but I think that's going to be like a little too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Y'all let us know what y'all think. All right? We hope you guys enjoyed something. Something about it.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all soon.
Peace.